And hello, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to continue our discussion on dependency injection. So specifically, I want to focus on three ways we can inject dependencies into our application, or more correctly, the term is called container. Okay, so we were doing dependency injection into our web apps the last time in our Program.cs file, and then there were three types of dependency injection I talked about before. One is called scoped, one is called the singleton, and one is called transient. Okay, so what is the difference between them? Okay, so some pages that are helpful are here. There's Stack Overflow questions, add transient, add scoped, and add singleton. Okay, so when you add services, what is the difference between them? Okay, and then the link here is use dependency injection in .NET Core. And this is one of the fundamentals here. Unfortunately, if you're new to dependency injection, a lot of this jargon will not make sense to you, and it did not to me either. So I decided to try and investigate things myself. Of course, after reading this Stack Overflow a few times, and thank you, who is this person? David Pine and Akadron, I don't know, but they answered very well. It looks like they answered very well. I think these are the questions that are answered. So, and it's a very popular question. So yeah, there's a lot of jargon here. It took me a few times of reading to actually get this get a good understanding. But I think better way is to experiment with it and see the different outcomes. So actually did some dependency injection using a random number generator. Okay, and you can see, okay, I'll just demonstrate the results first, and then I'll explain how I got there, and then I'll just do some differences. So the singleton in dependency injection, when I click on this random number generator, it doesn't change. I mean, the first time you load this whole page, it will generate a random number, okay, and after that it will stay put. Okay, this scope dependency injection, okay, the random numbers they generate after reloading each time are the same, whereas transient dependency injection, the random numbers, even in the same page, when you do reload once, they are different random numbers altogether. Okay, how did I get here? Okay, and what then are the differences? Okay, so let's go to, okay, well, first thing first, let's talk about random number generation. So let's go to .NET test, .NET test. Okay, we have a random number generation model. Okay, one is called random number gen.cs and random number gen.cs. So if I open both of these up, random number gen.cs and random number gen.cs, and I v-split it, well, this is what I get. Okay, what I do for my random number generator, well, you're supposed to make a new random number object, okay, and the class name is called random. Okay, the object I declare is called RND. I did not use dependency injection over here because this is already sort of hard coded into the .NET Core thing, so it doesn't really, you don't really need to do this dependency injection. That's like overkill. Okay, yeah. So what do I do with this random number generator? I use the next function to generate a random number between 1 and 10,000. Okay, so this is a random number generator between 1 and 10,000. Okay, why do I get a random number that big? So that well, I can make sure that no two random numbers are quite the same. The probability of that happening is very small. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, so what is the code of my random number generator? Okay, my random number generator works like this. Okay, I have a value which is stored in the random number generator class or in the object. Okay, the random number value is just called value, and this is a property. Okay, and the random number generator, the random number generator is stored in the constructor. So this class is called RNG transient, and the constructor is called RNG transient. Okay, so I made 3 classes with exactly the same code. I just named the class differently, and I named the interface differently. So this is also a random number generator with one property called value and one constructor named RNG scoped. Okay, for singleton is the same, exactly the same. RNG singleton, we generate a random number, and then we use that random number to we generate a random number between 1 and 10,000 in the constructor. So this random number generator only runs once, and that is only when you declare the new object. After that, if the object continues to exist or persist, that means the object is not deleted and you don't make a fresh new object, then this random number will stay the same. Okay, so the random number should only be called once in the constructor. After that, the value stays the same. Okay, so when I declare the object, I run this random number function. After that, no more. It will stay the same. Okay, this is how the random number generator will work. Okay, so we will use this to, in a sense, to test what this transient singleton and scoped is about. So let me bring out GIMP. I don't have GIMP right now. Alright, so what happens? Okay, so this test is just here to say, if I delete the random number generator object and I make a new object, a new random number will be generated. But if the object is the same random number object, okay, the value of the random number will not change. Okay, so this is how the random number generator works. So on the left, you'll see my interface, IRNG transient, IRNG scope, IRNG singleton. Okay, then I have 3 classes here, RNG transient, RNG scoped, and RNG singleton. Okay, so these are the 2 very important files that I will copy and paste into maybe my chickenBurger branch. All right. Okay, so I don't want to waste time typing all of this out, so I just explain the code to you, and then I explain how I do the dependency injection. So let me copy the random number .cs, now paste it outside the GitHub repository or Git repository. Okay, I will paste it here. Okay, copy it over, and I'll copy the interface over as well. And then I'll git checkout chickenBurger. Okay, I will use this branch to do the singleton and everything. Okay, so now I'm here. I'm in the chickenBurger branch. Of course, I can git pull. It's already up to date. Let me resend this. Okay. Oh, we don't even have a test page 2. Okay, so in our chickenBurger test, we do not have a test page 2. But let's move the random number generator right here. Okay, random number generator.cs, let's move it here. And the iRandom number generator.cs, and we'll move it here. Okay, so we will just git add both of these. Okay, and track the changes. So in case it gets lost, it's over here. At least we'll have it here. We'll stage it for commits. Okay, next thing we need to do, okay, once we have these random number generators, what do? We need to add them into the dependency injection, the services. Okay, we need to use inject those dependencies as services. So what do? I'm going to open up all of these pages, iRandom number gen.cs, random number generator.cs, and program.cs. Okay, so I'm going to vsplit so that I can open up 2 windows at once. In fact, I can open up 3 windows at once. So you can see my cursor is now on the left side. Now move it to the right side, and if I move to the left, or rather I move to the right, I make sure my cursor is on the right side, and then I type the colon split, okay, split. And this will split the right screen into the top and bottom. So I will be able to open 3 files at once. So that's very useful. So let me navigate to the left screen using Control WW. Okay, Control WW is to switch between the Vim windows. Okay, and I will go to the over here. Okay, I'll go here to this place here. Okay, and then I will go to the random number generator implementations. Okay, and you see the namespace will be unit conversion models RNG. Well, maybe I will change this unit conversion to .NET test, because there's no unit conversion in this so-called version, or in this application at all. So I'll just call it .NET test, and .NET test will be the application name. And then I'll put it under models, and I'll just put the namespace under RNG. So it's just a way for me to organize my classes. So okay, CW to change the thing, .NET test models.rng. Okay, let me undo that change. Change again, .NET test models.rng. I may have done a typo or something. Okay, so what do we do? Okay, remember to make sure we can inject our service right. We'll need to use the namespace first. Okay, using .NET test.models.rng. I assume you're familiar with this, so I am not going to keep repeating myself on the details behind the steps. I will just tell you what the steps are. Okay, if not, you have to watch the preceding videos. Okay, so now we add our singleton, scoped and transient dependencies. Okay, so we add that. Okay, so I'm going to paste 3 of these. Okay, using the Vim copy and paste, and I'm going to change this. Excuse me. I'm going to change this the IRNG. The scoped one I will change. Maybe I'll do a transient first. IRNG transient, and that will be the interface. And I'll change this to add transient. This will be a transient service, and then I will change this to let me change this into RNG transient. Okay, so I'll save this. If you take a look here, my IRNG transient is the interface, so the interface comes first. After that comes the class, and this is the RNG transient class. Remember how it works? Okay, it will only generate a random number in the constructor, so it will only generate the random number once you make the object, so to speak, or declare the object. Okay, so next one you can look at is the RNG scoped. So I can look here at RNG scoped, and I'll change the word here, RNG scoped. Okay, now go back and I'll use full stop to repeat the last command. Control W to save. Okay, Control colon W. Sorry, colon W. I keep saying it wrong. So this will be the second type of service we add, which is a scoped service. And then the last service we will add is the singleton, RNG singleton. Okay, and I'll change the word here, RNG singleton. So RNG singleton will be here. So there are three classes, but the code behind the classes is exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to change this into singleton. Okay, and this is how we will get our services. Okay, once the services are here, we will be able to start doing dependency injection. So I'll save and quit everything. Okay, I will open up Program.cs, and of course the pages test page.cs HTML star. Or in fact, I'll open the test page CS HTML star first. Program.cs in the second one. Now I'll v-split this, and I will split this up. Okay, and then what happens? Okay, I want to go to my public page, and I want to do some dependency injection here. Okay. So what is the thing I need to add? Well, I need to add a new namespace now. The new namespace will be called the random number generator for random numbers, for random number generator model. So what I do, using .NET test models.rng. Okay, random number generator is for, will become RNG. And then what do I want to do? I want to do dependency injection test for this. Okay, so this part is for testing with dependency injection. Okay, to spot differences between singleton, scoped, and transient. Okay, so what we'll be doing is this is very similar to the Microsoft tutorial here, except in the Microsoft tutorial here they use this GUID, the GUID, yeah, using static system GUID. Okay, you may not know what a GUID is, but it doesn't matter. So that's why instead of using GUID, I'm going to use random numbers, because random numbers are a little bit easier, well, fairly much easier to grasp. Okay. So what do we do here? Okay, I'll need two copies. I'm making two copies of my random number generators. So for iTransient, the random number transient generators, we'll have two copies. For the scoped, we'll have two copies, and for singleton, we will have two copies. All right. So let's make two copies of each of these things. Okay, private irng transient. Okay, so the first one, I'll call that transient 1. Private irng transient underscore transient 2. Okay, so private irng scoped. Okay, scoped 1. So these are scoped random number generators. Okay, or maybe I will try to name them properly. Transient rng1, transient rng2, scope rng1, and then of course I can yank and paste this to make a scope rng2. Now why am I doing this? Okay, because later if we only have one copy of each, it will be very difficult, okay, to differentiate between a transient and scoped. Okay, to differentiate between singleton and transient and scope, I mean singleton and transient and singleton and scope, the differences are pretty obvious, but between transient and scope there's a little bit more nuance to it. Okay, so to kind of figure out what that nuance is, I need to make two copies of each. Okay, but if that's too much for you, don't worry, I will just use one of each copy, and then we'll ask ourselves, we will come to the question, what's the difference between transient and scope then? Okay, so for now, to save myself some typing space, I will just make two copies of each first. irng scoped singleton rng1, yank paste singleton rng2. Okay, and that's what we have here. Alright, so what do we do? Okay, we are going to do dependency injection with 6 objects. Okay, so we made 6 objects here, 6 private objects typed as irng transient, two types of irng transient, 2 types irng scope, 2 types of irng singleton. Okay, yeah, but for now, it's a bit hard to kind of, I'm like jumping steps ahead. So, okay, maybe let's do it this way. Yeah, I'm going to just include three variables first. Three three versions of this random number generator: one singleton, one scope, one transient. Okay, never mind. I will stay with my current plan. Okay, then I will display the data later. Okay, so bear with me for the moment. I'm going to make 6 copies of the same thing. So irng transient. Okay, transient rng1, comma. Now delete this, and maybe I'll put the bracket here. Paste. Okay, and then I'm going to paste this here as well. I'll change this to scoped. Then I will put here scoped. Wow, I changed the whole thing. Scoped rng1. Yank paste. Okay, so I'll be loading in 6 objects, 2 copies of the same object. Okay, 2 copies of the same object. Over here, scope rng1, scope rng2. Then I'll put a singleton after that. Okay. Okay, so I'll change this word to singleton. And then I'll have a singleton 1 and 2. Singleton rng2, scope rng2. I'll change this to number 1, and let's get rid of the comma, and let's put the bracket here. That's a lot of dependencies we are injecting. Okay, and then I'll say this part is for dependency injection test between scoped, transient, and singleton. Okay, and let me push the comments to the second line, because it's a little hard to read like that, using Vim like that. Okay, so very good. I'm going to copy and paste all of this. Okay, I'm going to paste it here because I don't want to keep what do you call that, repeating myself. Okay, so transient rng1, then I will delete all of this. Okay, oopsie, 2dw, delete the words twice, delete words twice, 2dw, 2dw. Okay, so that's how I'm doing it. And then transient rng1, what will that be equal to? I'll put that as the transient rng 1. Okay, I will repeat the command and I will change it to transient rng2. Okay. Okay, this will be equal to scoped rng1. Okay, and this will be equal to, okay, I will repeat this. Oh, let me type it manually. Scoped rng2. And then I'll have this equal to singleton rng1, and this will be singleton rng2. Okay, perfect. Alright, so let me just indent it to the right place. 4 spaces each. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll use the full stop to repeat the command. Okay, and that's how we will do dependency injection. So the moment the page loads, we will have all these dependencies injected, and everywhere a irng transient is, okay, we will make a class, we will make an object based on this rng transient class. Every time a scoped rng interface is being asked for, this rng scope will be like injected inside. Okay, so you'll make an object of this rng scope and then inject it here and inject it here. Same for singleton. Every time this irng singleton is called, this rng singleton object will be put into here and put into here. Now there are subtle differences between all of this, so we will try to get there. Okay, so what is next after this? Let's see. Yeah, we will want to put a button in. Okay, submit button. I totally forgot how to do that. Okay, input type equals to submit. Submit button asp for asp input handler. Okay, so okay, never mind. I'll just try to do it from memory. I forgot a lot of things. Okay, so I'm going to make a submit button right here. I'm going to make a submit button right here and 3 pieces of view data. Okay, input. Okay, how do you put the input? Okay, you need a slash and a right angular arrow. So this is HTML. Type equals to submit. Okay, and what will we have? We will have a submit form right here, submit query, and then I will change this to, I'll change the value to, or rather let me let me do the ASP input handler first, and this will help me find the right function to so-called to get when this submit button is pressed. So I'll just call this RNG. Okay, random number generator. Okay, so if I save it and I reload, it'll still say submit query. Okay, and then I'll put here, okay, value equals to, oh, I can still remember, yeah, generate random number. Okay, now save it, and then I can just click here as I please. Okay, of course the buttons they aren't so nice, but it does the trick. So what do I need to do now? Public void on post. Okay, on post. Okay, I totally forgot. We need to have a form here. Form with the post method. Okay, let's have a form with the post method. Usually that's the case. Okay, form method equals to post, and then backslash form to finish it up. So that will make sure that we are using the post method for the form. / form, save. So on post, on post RNG, okay, I'm going to just have a void function there, and yep, you can still have this generate random number and nothing will show up. And let me put this transient RNG in first. So I will use view data, okay, and I'll say transient RNG. Put transient RNG1, okay? Transient RNG1 equals to transient, okay, underscore transient RNG1 dot value. Remember we had a value method there. Okay, so this will just extract the value of that data. Okay, so it'll take a while to reload. Okay, so I will do the same for scoped and singleton by copying and pasting this 1 and 2. So let me get rid of the transient. Scoped RNG1. I'll use a small letter. Scoped, and then I will press full stop to repeat it. Oh well, that was a bit not what I wanted. Let's use scoped, and then one more time we will use singleton. Okay, so singleton RNG1, and you use the singleton RNG1 object within our class, and that's it. Okay, and then in test page cshtml, over here what I'll do is that I will just display the view data like so. Not in a table. Maybe I'll just put in a paragraph here. And paragraph. I'll put in a paragraph here. Transient RNG. Okay. Then in the next paragraph, I'll put add view data. Okay. What do you call that? Okay. Transient RNG1. Okay. I'll make sure to close it up. And /p. And let's see whether this works before I start typing other things. So it'll take a while to build. Generate random number. Okay. Nothing really happens yet, which is strange. Say onpost RNG. Maybe I what do you call that? Let me see whether I forgotten anything. I'll probably need to restart everything to make sure the services are running correctly. .NET watch. Okay, let's go to the test page. Let's try the generate random number. Oh, now even the chickenBurger thing doesn't work. I broke a lot of things. Oh well. Okay. I think this video is getting a little long. Small 30 minutes, so I'll stop for now. I will try to get behind the scenes and do some work, and I'll see whether I can do something about this random number generator thingy. Okay. I hope I did it correctly. Okay, let me save and quit everything first. I'll try to resend. Yeah, I'll come back again and hopefully things will be fixed. I'll tell you what the bug is if I can figure it out on time. Okay, thank you for watching.